Adobe Photoshop. Making yourself a superhero. Working with layers, the pen tool, imagery size, pre-transform, highlights, and shadows. An STC tutorial. Today, we're going to learn how to make ourselves into a superhero in Photoshop. To do this, I need to open up a superhero body and a headshot of myself. So go up to File, Open, choose a superhero body, Open, go back to File and Open again, and choose a headshot and Open. Both of these will open up in their own tabs. Going back to the superhero body. Also note that you can zoom in on an image with a navigator. To open up the navigator, go to Window, Navigator, and this will open up the navigator panel over here. Now to zoom in, you can either move the zoom slider, or you can choose the button on the right and zoom in as close as you want. Now, we want to put my face on this body, so we're going to go back to the headshot, and we want to isolate my face from the rest of this image. But before we go into that, we're going to go over to the Layers panel, and you'll see a layer named Background. This is the default layer, and it's locked. So we want to right-click on it, and choose to Duplicate Layer. And click OK. Now that we've made a copy of it, we're going to right-click on Background again, and delete it. Choose Yes. This way, when we isolate my face and delete the rest of it, it'll show up as nothing instead of white space. We'll begin to isolate my face using the pen tool. Over on the toolbar, this is the pen tool. Click. And now, we're going to begin isolating my face by outlining my face slowly. Clicking once, letting up on the mouse, clicking again. In this instance, we are not going to click and drag, which will make it do this. We don't want that right now. So go up to Edit, and choose Step Backward, and that will undo that. I'm going to continue outlining my face. Right about here, make a little dip, since the superhero's hair will be there. And then connect to the initial point. Now that we've isolated my face, we're going to go over to the Path panel and choose a button that looks like a circle of dots. That will load the path as a selection. Now we want to delete everything but my face, so we're going to go up to Select and choose Inverse. Choosing Inverse will select everything except my face. And when we hit Delete on the keyboard, just my face remains. Now we're going to work on getting my face on that superhero body. So we need to copy and paste it, but first we're going to select it using something like the rectangular marquee tool from the toolbar, drawing a box around it. We've selected it. Now choose Edit, and Copy. Go back to the superhero, and we can then choose Edit, Paste, and we see that my face is much too big yet, so we're going to delete this layer by right-clicking on the layer and choosing Delete Layer. Choose Yes. Now, going back to the face, we're going to resize this image. And we can just click out of this to make the selection go away. Go to Image, Image Size. Now normally you might have to play around with the pixels to see what size you need, but I know I need 350. Choose OK. And that resizes it. Now we're going to try it again. Make the selection box around it. Go to Edit, Copy, then go back to the superhero, choosing Edit, Paste, Now we need to move my face onto the superhero, but first we're going to choose the black arrow here on top of the toolbar, which is the Move tool, which will allow me to move my face. Drag it up here. We see that my face is a little bit off center. It's tilted. So we're going to use Free Transform to tilt it the way it needs to be tilted. Go to Edit, go down to Free Transform, and now to move it, see these two little arrows here. I click to move it this way. Now we've tilted my head the right way. It looks better. Now we're going to choose the Move tool again. And now it'll ask us to apply the transformation. I'm going to apply it to keep that tilt. Now I'm going to move my face up a little bit. There. Now, note, on the Layers panel, you'll see that my face is seen above the rest of the body because this layer is listed before the background, and that a layer that is locked cannot be changed. And if you want a layer to not be able to be changed, you can select it and then choose Lock and hit it again if you want to unlock it. And these little eyes right here designate that you can see that layer. So if I were to click this eye, my face would disappear. Click it again, you can see it now. We can also work with highlights and shadows a bit. Here in the Layers panel, click on the button that's white and black circle. It's to create a new fill or adjustment layer. Click on it. And we want to choose Levels. Now, to manipulate the amount of highlights in the image here, we're going to, this white triangle can manipulate the highlights. If you watch it as I drag it over, it gets lighter and lighter. To manipulate the shadows, this black triangle, if you drag it this way, will change the image as well. The middle triangle is gray, and that stands for the midtones. Dragging this would change it a bit right there. Then, when you think you're all done, we're going to save it by going to File, Save As, choosing where you want to save it, having a file name, and as for the file format, if you want to be able to come back into Photoshop and edit the layers you've created, save it as a Photoshop or PSD file. Or if you think you're done, you can save it as something like a JPEG, and it'll save it all as one image. Click Save. And now you just made yourself into a superhero in Photoshop. Photoshop Superhero tutorial provided by Rachel, SVSU. Software used: Adobe Photoshop CS 5.1, Camtasia Studio 7, Windows Movie Maker, Windows Vista, Samsar, and iMovie.